I used to run new product introductions, and that was a fun role because it bridged everything from the designer of the guitar to the R&D folks who made some prototypes, and then our team's job was to make it manufacturable. Because as we say, anybody can make one of something, but now if we've got to make it on the production line, what are the fixtures we need to design and all of these types of things. So that was a really fun role. I did that for a long time. But my dream job has always been sourcing wood because I'm a lifelong woodworker. I have a side business where I make cajon box drums. So wood has always been my thing. And when this position opened up, I've had it for 3 years now. It's just been an absolute dream come true. I just came back 2 months ago from a week trip to Cameroon to do some ebony sourcing, and that was amazing. I've been to Fiji to look at plantation grown mahogany because, of course, we're really interested in making sure that we're not only sustainable but ethically sourced, legally sourced, all of these things. So that's sort of my job, is to boots on the ground validations.
Besides the obvious aesthetics, what is the acoustic impact of the various woods?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's a lot of tonal impacts. For example, we use a lot of roasted woods now because the guitar players love the roasted ash. For example, there's a model that Phil Collin plays that has a roasted ash body. And we went through a whole multitude of different woods. We painted them all black so that he would hear with his eyes and not with his, sorry, I said it backwards, hear with his ears instead of his eyes, because so many times when we do these prototypes in the old days, they would look at which one was prettiest and that one sounded best. But he was a good sport. We painted him all black and he did a blindfold test. And I mean literally a blindfold test, because another time we were doing neck blanks. And he said, I think I like the sound of roasted maple best. And I was a latecomer to that whole thing. So I said, well, would you mind doing a blind test? A blindfold. And he put a blindfold on, and we have an R&D sound room here. And we gave him the different guitars, and he called it out, every single one. I think this is the roasted neck. Yes, it is. This is the regular neck, and it was amazing. So,
and it wasn't by feel; it was by sound.
Right. That's a great question, because we were very careful to make the finish feel the same, and it was a hand rubbed oil finish.
So the roasted aspect, what does that contribute, or what is the difference in acoustics that it promotes?
It's an interesting process to where it actually changes the cellular structure, and I'm not enough of a scientist to tell you exactly how that works, but it stops taking on and releasing moisture. It's a very stable neck, but a lot of folks that play also believe it feels like a neck or even a guitar body that they've had for 30 years. It does something to the whole process where it just sounds like an old broken-in guitar.
And is it literally roasted? Are you taking the raw wood and putting it in an oven?
Yeah, and it's different than our regular kiln process to dry and curate the wood. This one is actually going in a special kiln where there's a couple different ways, but the way I think most of ours is done is the oxygen is removed so it doesn't just burn up. Sort of like the way they make charcoal in a sense, but not taking it that far. And then in fact, that's a really important aspect of it also, is how far do we roast it? Because if we're roasting just for color, it's really nice to make a really dark chocolatey color, but then the wood is too brittle and it sounds too bright, and the screw retention is terrible. So there was a whole learning curve there. So, okay, how far do we want to roast it? This type of wood, we're going to roast it to a certain temperature for a certain period of time, and another one might be a lot less because of the cell structure of that wood.
And we're talking on electric guitars, correct? Not just acoustic.
Right. So yeah, another really great question.
Can pick that up?
Yeah. And it's been explained to me a bunch of different ways, but I think it's that whole transference of the pickup is mounted in the wood. The strings activate the sound, of course, and the vibrations through the whole thing. So I know it's a crazy thing, but yes, the electronic pickup is still able to amplify these different sounds. This is his model right here, and this is called the Phil Collin PC1, and it has a mahogany body with a figured maple top, and it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. And then we were just talking about roasted maples. That's why it has this color instead of being white. It's a roasted maple neck and fingerboard. And then this one's kind of cool because it has side dots that glow in the dark. So when you're on stage, you can actually see where you are. And one of the things that really makes the PC-1 a unique instrument is it has a sustainer circuit. So this thing that looks like a pickup is actually a sustainer driver. And these switches can dial in different harmonics, and you can get sustained for days. It's a unique instrument, to say the least. Yeah.